In the 1970s, the American automotive industry went through a time of great change. On one hand, the era still carried the glory of the 1960s muscle cars, machines with big horsepower, aggressive styling, and thunderous exhaust notes that thrilled enthusiasts. On the other hand, the early 70s became a turning point as the energy crisis, tighter emissions regulations, and shifting consumer trends began reshaping the market. Out of this new climate emerged a fresh segment that found considerable popularity: the sport compact. These cars were smaller than traditional muscle cars, yet still carried a sporty character, solid performance, and a more affordable price point. One of the standout models in this category was the Plymouth Duster. Produced by Chrysler's Plymouth division from 1970 through 1976, the Duster was a two-door coupe with a distinctive fastback design. It was essentially a sportier offshoot of the Chrysler A-body platform, originally used for the Valiant. With its sharper styling and a wide range of available engines, including V8s, the Duster appealed to younger buyers who wanted a mix of looks, performance, and affordability. The example we're looking at here is a 1973 Plymouth Duster, an interesting survivor hailing from Lafayette, Tennessee. Showing fewer than 78,000 miles, this car retains much of its original charm, while also featuring thoughtful updates that make it more enjoyable to drive today. A brief history of the Plymouth Duster. Before diving into this 1973 model, it's worth taking a step back. Plymouth launched the Duster in 1970 as a way to expand its lineup and add a sporty edge to the proven Valiant platform. While the Duster shared many components with the Valiant, its exterior design was completely different. The sleek, fastback styling gave it a modern and dynamic look compared to the Valiant's more conservative sedan shape. The car quickly found popularity, offering an affordable alternative to full-size muscle cars like the Roadrunner or Barracuda. Buyers could choose from a variety of trims, with the Duster 340 standing out as a favorite among speed enthusiasts. Powered by a 340 cubic inch V8, it delivered plenty of punch to compete with other performance cars of the time. Still, the Duster's success was short-lived. By the mid-1970s, stricter emissions rules, the 1973 fuel crisis, and shifting consumer preferences took a heavy toll on big-engine compacts and muscle cars alike. Production of the Duster ended in 1976, replaced by the more regulation-friendly Dodge Aspen and Plymouth Volare. Exterior design, classic sporty aggression. This 1973 Plymouth Duster makes a strong first impression. It has been repainted in deep black, giving it a menacing yet elegant presence. Red side striping and 340 badging highlight its sporty identity, even though the car now runs a slightly different engine, AT the rear. A color-matched spoiler emphasizes its racing-inspired personality. The hood features functional vents, not only enhancing the car's look but also helping with engine cooling. Period-correct steel wheels with black hubcaps sit wrapped in Cooper Cobra tires with raised white lettering. An iconic touch straight from the golden age of muscle. Taken together, these details make the Duster stand tall as a car that's both understated and unmistakably sporty. From the side, the Duster's fastback silhouette is its calling card. The gently sloping roofline flowing into the trunk creates the impression of constant forward motion. It was a design that set the Duster apart from rivals like the Ford Maverick or Chevrolet Nova. Interior, simple, functional, with retro flair. Step inside, and you're greeted by a cabin dressed mostly in black, accented with bold touches of red. The seats have been freshly reupholstered, while new carpeting improves both comfort and aesthetics. The dashboard stays true to its 1970s simplicity but includes some aftermarket instrumentation, temperature, and fuel gauges for reliability, plus a strategically mounted tachometer to keep close watch on the revs. A Sony cassette radio, though not factory original, fits the car's retro vibe. Cassette players were extremely popular in the 1980s, and many classic car owners added them as a period-correct upgrade. Compared to larger muscle cars, the Duster was also more practical. The back seat could comfortably carry 2 passengers, and the trunk offered useful space. This made the car versatile enough for weekend fun, daily driving, or even road trips. Of course, many features remained manual: crank windows, manually adjusted mirrors, which adds to the car's analog charm and reinforces a purer connection between driver and machine. Engine and performance: a V8 with soul. This particular car started life as a Duster 340, but now it's powered by a rebuilt 360 cubic inch 5.9L V8. The upgrade brings a bit more muscle, paired with Chrysler's legendary 3-speed TorqueFlite automatic transmission. Renowned for toughness and dependability, rear-wheel drive keeps the car firmly rooted in American performance tradition. The combination of a burly V8 and rear traction delivers the kind of driving thrills that define the era, whether on a long straightaway or powering out of a curve. While exact horsepower figures aren't provided, factory 360 Ci engines of the time typically produced around 245 to 275 horsepower depending on tune and equipment. That's more than enough to provide classic muscle car acceleration and the throaty exhaust roar that fans love. Collectibility and modern relevance. The Plymouth Duster may never have reached the iconic status of the Dodge Charger, Plymouth Barracuda, or Chevrolet Camaro, but its uniqueness in the sport compact niche makes it highly appealing to collectors. Prices tend to be more accessible than heavyweight muscle cars, yet the experience it delivers is no less authentic. This 1973 example is particularly desirable. Low mileage, well-maintained, refreshed in key areas, and finished in a bold black and red theme. With a rebuilt engine ensuring strong performance, it strikes a fine balance between originality and usability. In today's world of uniform, modern vehicles, driving a Duster is a statement of individuality. Its distinctive styling and unmistakable V8 soundtrack ensure it still turns heads and stirs emotions, while also serving as a rewarding long-term investment. Driving experience: nostalgic and raw. For anyone accustomed to modern cars loaded with electronics, piloting a Plymouth Duster is a very different experience. There are no power windows, no parking cameras, no sensors. Everything is manual, everything is analog. And that's exactly what makes it so engaging. From the growl of the V8 every time you press the throttle, to the gentle vibrations through the steering wheel, to the unmistakable shifts of the TorqueFlite transmission, every drive feels alive. It's not simply transportation, it's an event. The Malaise era context and its effect. When the Duster first hit the streets in 1970, American performance cars were at their peak. Challengers, Camaros, Mustangs, and yes, the Duster 340, all tore up drag strips nationwide. But by 1973, everything had changed. The oil crisis forced Americans to line up at gas stations, fuel prices spiked, and efficiency became the priority. Large engine cars like the Duster were suddenly seen as gas guzzlers. At the same time, emissions rules from the EPA required manufacturers to reduce engine output. High compression, high horsepower V8s were detuned with lower compression ratios, revised carburetors, and catalytic converters. New safety regulations also came into play: 5 miles per hour impact bumpers, seatbelt standards, and crash test requirements, all of which complicated designs originally meant to be lightweight and simple. This combination ushered in what enthusiasts call the Malaise era, a low point for American cars. Yet, because the Duster lived through this transitional time, it now stands as a symbol of resilience and change. Competitors of the Plymouth Duster. To appreciate the Duster's place, you have to consider its rivals in the compact sporty segment. Ford Maverick, 1970 to 1977, intended as the Falcon's successor, cheap and stylish, but never offered the kind of high-performance option that matched the Duster 340. Chevrolet Nova, 1968 to 1979, hugely popular, and the SS trim with a V8 could be a real contender, but its design was more conservative compared to the Duster's Fastback Flare. AMC Hornet, 1970 to 1977, lightweight and available with both 6-cylinder and V8 engines, but it never matched the popularity of the Duster, Nova, or Maverick. The Duster's winning formula was its combination of affordability, sharp styling, and optional V8 power. That's why it retains a loyal following even today. Everyday usability. Another reason for the Duster's success was its practicality. With compact dimensions, it was easy to drive in the city, yet the rear seat and sizable trunk made it suitable for families. For many young Americans in the 1970s, a Duster was their first car, a daily commuter during the week, and a fun machine for the drag strip on weekends. Owners often praised its dual personality: civilized enough for grocery runs and road trips, yet spirited enough to satisfy a craving for speed. restoration, and modification. Today, the Duster is a favorite project for restorers and modifiers. Two main approaches dominate: factory restoration. Collectors seek original Duster 340s and restore them to factory specs, matching paint, interiors, and numbers-correct engines. These command strong values. Restomod and drag builds. Thanks to its lightweight A-body, the Duster is a drag racing favorite. Some owners install Hemis, superchargers, or even modern Hellcat engines. Others prefer Restomods, keeping the vintage looks but adding modern brakes, AC, and audio. This 1973 example falls in between, its original 340 swapped for a rebuilt 360 Ci, enhancing performance while preserving much of the classic flavor. Pop culture and community. While not as famous as the General Lee Charger or Smokey and the Bandits Trans Am, the Duster still has its place. It remains a staple of grassroots drag racing thanks to its lightweight and easy upgradability in Mopar circles. The Duster is a beloved fixture. At car meets, you'll almost always find one or two, often heavily modified or perfectly restored. The Barn Find Duster is also a popular theme online, with enthusiasts reviving forgotten examples from dusty garages, a testament to the car's enduring nostalgia. Market value and collectibility. Compared to top-tier muscle cars, Dusters are generally more affordable, but their values have risen significantly in recent years. Nostalgia plays a key role. Those who once owned or dreamed of owning a Duster are now in a position to buy one-base models with six-cylinder engines, often trade hands for more modest sums. Well-restored Duster 340s, or those with low mileage, bring far higher prices. Custom builds and Restomods also command strong premiums depending on quality. This 1973 car, with its low mileage, rebuilt engine, and sharp presentation, represents an excellent piece for collectors, not only in terms of market value, but also the satisfaction of owning a slice of Mopar history. The driving connection. Driving a Plymouth Duster isn't just about performance, it's about connection. The V8's deep growl, the kick of the torque flight shifts, the raw feel of rear-wheel drive. It all adds up to an experience modern cars can't replicate. Sure, it lacks the refinement of today's suspension or electronics, but that's the point. Every corner, every burst of acceleration, every squeeze of the brakes feels visceral and real. For some, it's nostalgia. For younger drivers, it's a rare chance to feel what 1970s American performance was truly like. The 1973 Plymouth Duster is proof that even a sport compact from the Malaise era can remain deeply relevant decades later. With its fastback design, simple yet functional interior, burly V8, and cultural significance, it represents more than just a car. It's a living piece of American automotive history in today's world of high-tech machines. Owning and driving a Duster keeps the past alive. For collectors and classic car enthusiasts, this 1973 example from Lafayette, Tennessee, is a golden opportunity to relive the glory days of the American sport compact.